turned in about 3:30 this morning from making packages, and back up in about 4 hours. Feeling pretty sluggish today. We got to get a lot of tubes in. Everything cut. Did end up getting the B pillars in, and everything's locked down here for where it's going to reside. And just so everybody knows, apologize about the fans. The south is doing south things, and it's going to be back above probably at 80 today, so pretty steamy in the shop. For cage jargon terms I'm using, I realized that I had not gone over this, but these are A pillars, and then B's, and then C's. So whenever you hear me talking about that, that is what I mean. Man, that turned out so awesome. So awesome. I gotta fold the top back, make sure everything clears there. I got Jeff over there helping me hold that up. Appreciate it, Jeff. You're the real MVP, buddy. But yeah, I really want to try to keep this thing a flat profile from the side roof. The roof lacing probably will stick up a little bit because I've got the room inside the top, but I don't want it rake, so they're all going to be in the same plane front to back. But man, that is going to be so sick. Couple rolled tubes on the back side, maybe something across the bottom there to match. Be pretty sweet. Really can't express to y'all the feeling of having a vision over all these years and then actually seeing something like that come to life. The whole Jeep really has been something that I've just thought about and ran over in my head time and time and time again over the years, and then about a 3-year, I guess, process to get the current axles, drivetrain, suspension set up under it. But it's pretty fulfilling. I've had a lot of projects in my short life as on this earth, but this one always hits home because it was number one, what I took to high school, what I drove to college, and pretty awesome to see it now. Many notches, many grinds later, this is what we got. It is level. It's got my profile that I want. Man, that is going to be sick. And it gives me the most room with the top on all the way to the back. I can still even snap the buttons on the rear framing down here. Bows. So, all right. Let's start throwing some spreaders in this thing. We've been at it for a few hours. All the spreader tubes are in. Got everything good there. They all had to be bent slightly on either end, as well as the B spreader. Rear hoop is in. Super happy with how that turned out. I can get to all my snaps. Got pretty good headroom. I didn't want to go as tall as the soft top. I am very, very happy. It looks so awesome, very much hidden. You really don't even know it's there. With if I had the side windows in, that would pretty much be covered. So kind of cool. And then obviously once I get it powder coated, it's gonna pop really, really good. So now we got to get the roof lacing cut. I'm gonna pull the top all the way back. Those are all just gonna be straight in plane, and I won't have to do any bends on them. They're just gonna literally fall from right there back to that line, and same thing going back to the corners over there. So just 4 straight tubes. Tomorrow we get to do some stylage. So this is where we left off. Called it a night after this, and went inside, but we've got everything set up for the following morning. Here we are next day, getting the roof lacing put in, trying to get the diagonal tubes notched in. This is a pretty simple process. This is honestly probably one of my favorite parts of building a cage, is actually dropping the lacing in. You get a little bit of style out of it. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to do for the most part sometimes, whether you want to add bends into them or just keep them straight. Obviously there's certain aspects of it that's going to be better for rigidity and structural integrity depending on which way you go about it. I was not running any debris bars in this cage in the front windshield area, so I went from the outer corners to the center. Then same day, a few hours later, we're going to roll right into rolling some tubing. I have a Harbor Freight tubing roller with the Swag Off-Road hull upgrade kit that they offer, all their upgrades on it. It's an awesome tool. I really enjoy using it. Mr. Tony helping me keep the tube straight. Pretty tricky deal with one person to try and do that and make sure it doesn't get a weird yaw out of it. But from there, it's just a lot of cutting, hand notching with a grinder. These are rolled, so they're not going to fit in your normal tubing notcher very easily. So a lot of this is all hand notched, hand ground sections there. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of little adjustments here and there. And then I realized that probably should throw the back seat in this thing and actually make sure that we had enough room for somebody to sit back there. So that's what we're actually doing in this next clip here, is just making sure to actually fit it with the back seat. I climb in there, I'm 6'4", so it's, you know, not gonna be ideal for anybody of large size stature, but smaller adult, kid, gonna be just fine. From there, I'm gonna weld out the bottom side of the roof lacing, and then we're gonna start throwing these rolled tubes in on the C-pillar side. I've got my C to B tie-ins that are going in also, which are rolled, so kind of gives it a really cool framed look there. Still got to do something for the B-pillar. I'm not sold on that. Well, here she is in all of her glory. Love the roll. Turned out really, really well. I'm not going to say it's completely done, but it is done enough for me to weld out. Today is literally Monday. This thing has to be fully welded, back in the Jeep, top on, back wheels and tires on. I took them off to lower it down a little bit. All the seats in it, not even kidding, by Wednesday, probably morning. We are rolling out first thing Thursday morning. So that's the goal. I got a lot to do. We got to hook back up the EFI, just throw the battery cable back on it. Go through nut and bolt the entire thing, check out all the fluids, make sure nothing's awry there. And then I got to get all that stuff packed up and the whole 9 yards to make sure that we have everything we need for 4 days at Windrock. So let's get to work.
So when you're welding out a cage, this is just something that I've always done. I always like to get my corners tied in first. So wherever they're tied into the floor or the bung or whatever it is that you're using, I always like to hit those first, try to get them fixed. And then I feel like it always helps to keep it from shifting and moving. This thing is going to shift. It's going to bow. It's going to have some spring in the metal whenever you're welding this thing up. You're never going to be able to keep it to where when you unbolt this thing, it's not going to move some. I've never had a roll cage out of all the probably hundreds that I've done that's ever just stayed perfectly still. So razors were always notorious for doing it whenever we were doing a lot of those. But anyway, just something I try to do. And then just move your heat around. I try to stay somewhat symmetrical, but from side to side. So basically, you know, joint for joint, one side to the other, and then just try to move the heat around. Don't just stay strictly on one side of the cage or one corner of the cage. Just that way you're spreading all that heat kind of evenly throughout the entire section. Probably doesn't matter much, just something that I do. Definitely had to add this in for the missus. She has been on me so long about not having a way to pull herself into the Jeep. So there you go, babe. Finally got your grab handle. Hopefully it'll help you get in and out of this thing a little bit easier, even though I do always try to be over there to help her in and out, because it's a little hike to get up in there. Now she's got her own grab handle, own way to get in and out. I kind of wish that I had put one on my side. I only did it on hers. Looking back at it, I might end up adding one over on my side when it's all said and done. So, but nice little improvement there with the grab handle for sure.
I got the cage all welded out, top and bottom. It's back in the Jeep, bolted in. I've got to do a little modification to my cage feet. Had a slight malfunction with my engineering and design. So I had this bracket welded like so on the bottom, bolting up under the dash. The cage feet then sandwiched up on the bottom side of this, and bolts ran up through it. Problem with that is how the cage has to tilt to come out. The stanchions had to lift directly up. There was no movement. This thing was so tight that no matter how we worked it, we could not get this piece out far enough on the bottom of the dash to actually clear the dash with the stanchions and pick it up over the ledge here with the feet to start sliding it up the wheel wells. So that being said, I'm going to redo this, cut this off, make a face-mounted plate, which is going to grab probably all three of these holes and have like a little swoop-de-doo thing, maybe. We'll see. And then still use the foot the exact same with this bottom piece. It'll still bolt up through the dash. It's just not going to have this piece on the top part. So you're still going to get the structural integrity of basically shear force and pulling force on it to have that tied in. It's just I've got to do away with it on this top piece in order to remove it. So it is Tuesday night. I think it's like around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I got a lot of work to do. I am hoping to wrap everything up tonight as far as getting the seats back in it, getting the top on it, and doing all that. It's going to be a very late night, but that is the goal. I don't know. We'll see. I would like to be loading this up before dark tomorrow, but with the time change, that happens about 4:30 now. So we'll see. We're loaded, somewhat ready to go. Got to put the back window in, but everything is done. Top's back on. She's all nice and tight, tucked in there. So everything fit, everything's good there. Hadn't cranked it in a minute. I still haven't shaved, but hopefully I get to do that tonight. and we're gonna try to be on the road super early in the morning. So that's it. That's all done. Next time y'all see the cage, it is going to be coming out for powder coat. I'll probably post something about it once it goes back in, or that process maybe of getting it coated and putting it back in. Super happy with how everything turned out. Really pleased with all the finish of everything and spacing inside all the room that we've got. My seats being reclinable now is a much needed improvement. So y'all definitely make sure and tune back in for the next one. Definitely going to try to take some video from Windrock, and hopefully we have a good time up there and nothing crazy happens, and we got something to post when we get done doing some riding up there. So looking forward to it. Y'all check back in on that next one, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks.